I want to give you some updates as much as I can on what's going on there in Russia, Ukraine. Obviously, I'm not there, so we have to take everything with a grain of salt. There's a lot of propaganda going on both sides. Colin, if we could show the mayor that was supposedly kidnapped. That's the video of this mayor from Ivan Fedorov was kidnapped. According to Antoine Garashenko, Fedorov refused to cooperate with the Russian military occupying the city. He was detained at the city crisis center, where he was in charge of the city's life support. So there you see this center, and right there is Russian military bringing out this mayor, and they have apparently installed a puppet mayor that is pro-Russian. So that's one item that's pretty scary. Then you have a Fox News reporter has been hospitalized. This came out today. If we could play this clip.
An hour ago, we had an alert, and we've got an update for you now. This is from the Chief Executive Officer of Fox News, Suzanne Scott, who sent a message to the network today saying, earlier today, our correspondent Benjamin Hall was injured while news gathering outside of Kiev in Ukraine. We have a minimal level of details right now, but Ben is hospitalized, and our teams on the ground are working to gather additional information as the situation quickly unfolds. The safety of our entire team of journalists in Ukraine and the surrounding regions is our top priority and of the utmost importance. This is a stark reminder for all journalists who are putting their lives on the line every day to deliver the news from the war zone. We will update everyone as we know more. Please keep Ben and his family in your prayers.
As of going live, he's been hospitalized. I know nothing more. Sadly, we know that a journalist has been killed. Another journalist has actually been killed. Brent Renaud. This is from the New York Times. Brent Renaud, an award-winning American filmmaker and journalist, was killed in Ukraine on Sunday while reporting in a suburb of the capital, Kyiv. Mr. Renaud, he was 50. He had worked for the New York Times, HBO, NBC. The Ukrainian authorities said he was killed in Irpin, a suburb that has been the site of intense shelling by Russia. So it is, whether it be Fox News, so obviously you know what I think of, or other journalists. This is serious stuff. Journalists, whether it be with Fox or elsewhere, are literally risking their lives. Also, independent journalists, filmmakers, documentary filmmakers, they are risking their lives in a war. Very sad to hear about that former New York Times journalist. And, we wish the best, obviously, to the Fox News reporter or any other journalists there that are in the line of fire. Also, what is being called a Russian airstrike hits a base in western Ukraine near the Polish border, killing 35. So this was about 12 miles from the border of Poland and Ukraine. Waves of Russian missiles pounded a military training base close to Ukraine's western border with NATO member Poland, killing 35 people. The strike followed Russian threats to target foreign weapon shipments that are helping Ukrainian fighters. So this is noteworthy because now you have Russia basically saying, if there are shipments, we're going to take those out too. And that's very close to a NATO country. So I don't know. We all know NATO is no innocent wallflower. The media does not want to report on NATO's role in all this over the last decades. NATO broke promises to the Soviet Union after the Soviet Union fell. But NATO says if a NATO country, you attack one NATO country, attack all of us. So the fact that missiles are being fired so close to Poland is that's definitely an escalation for sure. That's definitely an escalation. And if that hits in Poland, unless NATO is going to make an exception, which I doubt it, they probably, including the U.S., might act against Russia, which could start World War III. And now we know Russia is also asking China, one of its close allies, for support on the ground. I also wanted to show this, Colin. This is the Kevin Gotstola tweet, which has mention from The Guardian, because this hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but The Guardian reported, if you have that screenshot, Colin, I'll read you the statement. The U.S. has said it's willing to take diplomatic steps to help the Ukrainian government, reports Reuters. a State Department spokesperson made the comments on Saturday after the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, said the West should be more involved in negotiations to end the war. Quote, if there are diplomatic steps that we could take that the Ukrainian government believes would be helpful, we're prepared to take them, the spokesperson said. Quote, we are working to put the Ukrainians in the strongest possible negotiating position, including by increasing pressure on Russia, by imposing severe costs, and by providing security assistance to help Ukrainians defend themselves. So they didn't put the exact quote that Zelensky said, but they are saying Zelensky had said the West should be more involved in negotiations to end the war. And briefly looking around today, this was thought to be that essentially the U.S. is not emboldening Ukraine in its negotiations, whatever few negotiations they've had with Russia, to offer Russia scaling back the severe sanctions. So that's what that is about, which makes you start to wonder. I mean, not trying to be cynical, but got to be cynical. Does Biden and the U.S. want to end this war quickly? Because his poll numbers have bounced up significantly after the State of the Union and the start of this war. I mean, overall, up 8 points to 47%. Ukraine handling up 18 points to 52%. Coronavirus pandemic handling now up 8 points to 55%. Economic handling up 8 points to 45%. So in that statement, the U.S. says, oh, yeah, we will be happy to aid Ukraine in diplomatic efforts with Russia. But you have the Ukrainian president basically saying, yeah, we need the United States to help us more in diplomatic efforts, because it was said for a while before Russia invaded, the United States wasn't seriously trying to negotiate with Russia. Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.